Start, Pankaj. Guest is joined. Please start, Pankaj. Yes, Pankaj, you can. Yeah, you can start, Pankaj. Guest is joined. Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome, Adithiya. I welcome you all on behalf of the Leaders Connect, the Mass Leadership, and Bija Training Private Limited. And we have our guest, Mr. Adithiya Venkataraman. So before we move forward, I would like Mr. Vijay to do the curtain raiser, please, and then we move forward. Mr. Vijay, you can unmute yourself and do the curtain raiser, please.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for the beautiful opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம், namaste, and a very good evening to all. This is trainer Vijay here. By passionate, I'm a host. I've hosted more than 650 shows, mostly into awards, fashion show, and corporate events. On the other side, I'm a soft skill trainer as well. Today is the proudest moment to join the Leaders Connect 650 Foundation episode LC0203. The Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profitable organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Our mission is to invite 1,000 plus leaders and create 1,000,000 leaders. Every Wednesday, we come together at 6:30 p.m. as today everybody has joined, and thank you so much for your time. And on Zoom live to gain insights from top management leaders. And last week, just scrolled down and last week of management leaders and the month from authors. And once every quarter, we take it offline in different cities to network, support, and grow together. Because at all Leaders Connect 360, we strongly believe leaders create more leaders. Today, we have our guest speaker, Mr. Adithiya Venkataraman, Chief Human Resource Officer, Hinduja Renewable, in conversation with our panel discussion. Leader Ms. Rashmi Jaswal, founder, research. I will be doing the panel discussion. Before we kick start to the episode, a quick reminder. I request everybody to turn on your video always. And first time visitors, it's a kind request. Check out the WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn in the chat box to stay connected and grow with us together. This episode is being recorded for our community archives. Now, let's set the energy high. If you are excited and ready for an impactful session, ladies and gentlemen, drop a thumbs up or a smile to get it started. Sorry, I'm just having a little cold. Excuse me. So beautiful, loving your responses. I'm sure you're all excited to ready and for the panel discussion. Fantastic. And before we go, let me introduce your chief guest speaker, Mr. Adithiya Venkataraman. Let me also introduce Mr. Pankaj, the managing partner of Bija Training. We'll be interacting with our guest alongside the panel discussion leader, Ms. Rashmi Jaswal, founder of Research I. Ladies and gentlemen, the much awaited discussion is about to happen. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bija. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And again, I welcome everyone on this evening of Wednesday. I welcome my guest. I welcome my panel discussion leader, all the visitors to this forum, which is called Leaders Connect 360, right? And the topic for the day is leveraging social media for leadership. And yes, for sure, as I always say, that we are going to learn something new today by our guest with his experience and expertise, which he carries, right? So, welcome, Aditya, sir, to the forum. Right. Right. Sir, you are muted, I believe. You can, because we cannot hear you. Rashmi, can you hear?
No, I cannot hear. I think so. There's a problem in the audio at his end.
Am I audible now?
Now
Yeah.
you're audible.
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, and apologies firstly for joining a little
Oh,
late.
no worries, sir.
Had
We can
issue.
understand.
Yes,
You are in a responsible position, and a lot of things comes and goes, especially the month of April, right? So we
absolutely.
can
That's
understand what all
precisely
is
why I
going.
was a little late as well.
No worries at all, sir. No. So before we move forward, I would like to officially welcome both of you, our panel discussion and the guest. So Arul, can we have the welcome video for our guest and panel discussion leader, please? And then we move forward.
Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Arul. So here finally, I welcome you officially to this event. Thank you so much. So,
Well,
Rashmi ji,
yes,
before
yes,
I hand it
yeah,
over to you,
yeah.
let us understand what people have understood
Yeah.
for the topic today, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
let us have a understanding through a medium of a poll. So, Arul, can we have the poll question so that we understand what is people's understanding on the topic today? And then we give it to our guest and our panel discussion leader. Arul, poll, please.
Yes, the poll is on the screen now. So, how do you currently use social media in your professional life? The choice is yours. You can choose however you are using the social media currently.
Faster,
Yes,
faster responses. We have 6, 7,
amazing,
8,
amazing. Yes.
9. Yes, go fast. Great. Coming in. 61, 66. Wow. Excellent.
Almost there. 4 more people to do with it. 4 more people.
Four more.
10 seconds. 10 seconds more. Yes.
So,
Good. Okay. Fine, Pankaj. Let
I
me.
believe people understand to build my personal brand and visibility. That has got 73%, right?
Yes. So here are the results for the poll.
Right. So let's see what is the real understanding of the topic from our guest by himself. Over to you, Ms. Rashmi and Aditya.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Pankaj. Thank you, Arul, for the lovely video. Vijay, thank you so much for the curtain raising. It's a pleasure and honor to have you, sir, on our show today. And let me tell you, your quintessential smile really makes me so relaxed.
Thanks, Rashmi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's dive straight into the discussion. It's one of my favorite topics because I've been juggling around with personal branding and collecting information from various thought leaders. And if you want to become a thought leader, social media really helps you do that. So my first question is, how can leaders maintain authenticity as they use social media and they build their online presence?
Thank you so much. First of all, again, apologies from my side, and thanks, Pankaj, thanks, Arul, and thanks, Vijay, for amazing start, and thank you so much, Rashmi, for setting this context up. So definitely, off late, whatever Gen we call, may it be baby boomers or Gen Y or millennial, whatever we call, at the end of the day, I think we are all adopting to the Gen Z style of selling ourselves, which is now the social media, right? So that has become an important platform or tool to whatever we want to kind of portray outside in the market or in the industry and to voice ourselves. So authenticity is something which is really important when so you become the face there in the social media. People do believe whatever you put it as a leader or as an employee in an organization. So, Rashmi, if allowed, I would talk from an organization point of view, right? I'll talk from a leader from an organization, and I'm going to talk from a employee in an organization point of view, and I'll restrict with that. I wouldn't go from a, for a personal post and all that. That's something which I'll keep it aside, at least for the scope of the discussion. Social media offers a powerful platform for leaders to communicate. They engage with people, they build influence, etc., right? So it definitely, it is not just like that happy Diwali, happy Holi type of messaging we are talking about. We are really talking about giving a proper message to the ecosystem in which we are associated with or we want to associate ourselves with. So in this, authenticity is something really important which builds trust and which is really crucial for a leadership or an influencer, whoever it is. Now, since your question was very pointed out to leader, let me talk it from a leader's point of view. So there should be an alignment with your online persona and your personal image, personal values which you hold dear to, right? If there is an alignment, then you will come out as a powerful influencer or a powerful person on a social media. If there is a misalignment there, then definitely people are going to judge you, and seeing you as a leader there kind of reduces a little bit. So what usually leaders, or whenever I post or whenever any leader posts in social media, there what we usually think is there should be something core value to us, which I really believe that this can be done. Right? There are usually when I take my example, I've seen people also do it is there are 3 to 5 core principles which we believe in leadership. For example, talent development. Since I come from an HR background, let me dwell around it. There is a talent development, right? Or I talk more on future of work, or I talk more on compliances, multi-generational workforce management. So I choose themes which I believe that these are core to me for my working, for my function, for my ecosystem. So I start iterating and talking about that. That is something really aligns. When I believe in myself, I always ensure people also believe. I project that in social media as well. Number one. And number two, a leader has to share real experiences to maintain authenticity. You can't fake an experience, or you can't dramatize an experience, or you can't make up a story. So that doesn't sell, right? So you'll have to really have a real experience to strategically put your point. That is number two. And when you talk about real experience, when you talk about core values, you should be consistent. Today, I hold something dear to me. Tomorrow, I change something else. That doesn't work. So when you fix something, when you about something, you should be consistent enough, and you have to do it meticulously and consistency. That is something which you'll have to do. And more and more, you'll have to start engaging personally. There are different type of persona which is there in social media. For example, an Anand Mahindra, right? Chairman of the Mahindra Group, right? He responds to every customer complaint also. So the moment I think about Anand Mahindra, customers centricity comes to my picture. He sells that. He sells that Mahindra Group will take care of customer, right? So that is something which he does. But for an example, another Indian whom I follow is Kiran Majumdar Shah, right, for
Yeah.
bio. So if she posts, right, if Miss Kiran posts, she is more of subject matter expertise. She's very consistent. Anything with pharmacy, policy, regulatory, everything kind of she pitches in. So they are very consistent in what they are telling, and they start engaging personally with people. Everything you can do. One important thing we should to maintain authenticity is to set that boundary limits, right? For the sake of talking, just because I got a platform, just because I got a visual audience, just because I've got an opportunity to see the camera and talk, I cannot talk whatever I can, right? I need to know what is that boundary in which I have to operate, and I'll have to operate within that. If leaders or anyone for that matter who can follow these simple steps, I think authenticity comes and a trust builds in that person. Is what my view is, Rashmi.
That was fabulous. I totally agree that your values should align to what you're projecting on social media. I mean, even
Right.
the word projection is not that right, because you're just being what
True.
you truly are and you're showing what you truly are. So, that alignment, I think, is absolutely necessary while you interact with people on social media, and they are your customers. You are here because
Absolutely.
they are there. So, yes. My second question is, what are the risks of cancel culture for a leader on social media platforms, and how they can navigate them? Cancel culture, let me explain a bit if you would allow me, please. It is, I didn't know, so I had to Google this term. It is, a leader who's already built the image gets ostracized or get criticized on social media for it said something that is not generally acceptable, and all that image that has been built over the years gets spoiled. So that's cancel culture. So yeah, over to you.
So yes, this is a hot topic, but definitely not kind of related to kind of what to say, social media usage. Unfortunately, I would want to quote that experience which happened quite recently with L&T, right? What happened with L&T is
Yes.
something which wasn't expected, where the chairman of the L&T group said something and it went really viral. That's precisely what cancel culture is, right?
Yeah.
So people started literally boycotting and started talking about work-life balance, started talking about 70 hours, 90 hours. Actually, he didn't intend that, right? He actually didn't mean that. Somebody kind of captured. It's not kind of social media talk by himself, but some internal meeting kind of, he took it on social media and it went viral for wrong reasons. And that's precisely what cancel culture is. And that has kind of triggered a lot of wave among people, negative wave at least amongst people. So what are the risks we carry? Obviously, now, because now you see, this is what happens. I started talking about L&T, right? Organization. I'm so sorry. Just a disclaimer: I don't represent any organization. Neither I have any hard feelings against any organization. But I just had to give this disclaimer to the audience. Nothing against it, because it was an example. I had to cite it. So the organization which a leader represents, the stake, the repute is at stake. Right. So the reputation of an organization and the self, there is a reputational damage which happens when there is a cancel culture, right? And the trust erodes. Why is there a cancel culture? Because again, I circle back to my point one, where there is a misalignment with what you believe as a person and what you portray yourself in the public. So there is an erosion of trust. There's a trust which kind of gets lost, and obviously associated with that is, once you build a bigger image of yourself of a company, that you are the company and you are the spokesperson of the company, the entire repute of the company gets tarnished, and people do there is a talent inherit hindrance to kind of enter the company. A lot of other associated difficulties or risks, especially it's a repute risk which I would definitely bring to attention. But how? And it's not something which is perennial. It is not do all end all kind of situation. You have various mechanisms or tools to kind of navigate this risk. Also come heavily back also on media. If you believe that, if you're a strong believer of feedback and you are a strong believer of working on feedbacks, so in that sense you'll have to kind of have both the strategies in place. When you are becoming a face of an organization in a social media, and you are kind of leveraging social media for a lot of organizational purposes and personal purposes as a leader, then you will have to have clear proactive strategies, what you have to do proactively to mitigate all these risks. And you should also have a reactive strategy where, if at all something untoward happens, how you're going to react to it, right? So that's, you'll have to have clear strategies. Like proactively, you can script your thoughts. You should have mindful communication, know what you're speaking. Again, as I said, just because you're in front of a camera or you're in front of people, you cannot just like that talk whatever you feel like talking. So you should be mindful of what you're communicating. You should be aware of what previously has happened. There is a lot of precedence which has happened in the company. You're not the first person who is representing the company. There might be some people who have already leveraged the social media and spoken something or represented something. You should be aware of what has happened previously, and you should be aware of what the culture is of what you're carrying, and you should also build goodwill among whom you kind of engage, right? These are certain proactive things which you can do. While if something had happened on because of what you had done, then you should, there are certain reactive strategies also you'll have to kind of take care of. Maybe like I usually use a traffic signal approach, right? It's a red,
Okay.
yellow, and a green strategy, right? So when something untoward happens, when there is a cancel culture, you stop, right? You pause, you assess yourself, and then you ensure everything is taken care of. You acknowledge. And if you have to apologize, please apologize. So there's nothing wrong in apologizing to people that you have done something wrong, right? So you apologize if there is something. Then you clearly provide a context on which why this has happened. And once everything is done, right, when an organizational level, if something that big happens, the PR jumps into picture, right? The communication teams jumps into picture. They ensure that things are taken care of. Once things fairly settle down, then you can jump into action again. So I think these are ways where you can mitigate this cancel culture. But going forward, more and more social media tool we use, I think this is going to happen if you're not mindful.
Absolutely. I think so. Being mindful on social media is prime because everybody is become super sensitive uh, to thoughts, to ideas. Though we say, in the corporate world, emotions don't hold that much value. I think so. They hold as much value in corporate world and also in the social media world. The world that we are maneuvering in, the world we are living in has changed manifold. That is what people say, but I still feel emotion drive a lot of things in this world. So thank you. I totally agree being mindful on social media. My third question is, how can leaders handle misinformation? There's misinformation or negative feedback on social media.
So maybe the traffic light would definitely be answer, but definitely I would want to kind of dwell a little more. First, we'll have to maintain calmness. So I think calmness is, we should not be reactive immediately. We lose our entire repute if we are reactive and all that. So reaction should not, knee-jerk reaction should definitely be out of the game. So calmness is definitely there, and you should focus on the facts. So data-driven response should always be very, very powerful. It is the powerful tool. You should always be driven by data. Facts like how many people, what kind of people are kind of not kind of liking this. You should take it constructively. So these definitely, a negative feedback is for sure for us to build things positively. That is how we'll have to take it. So how do you handle it? You'll have to uh, once you do a calm assessment of the situation, you have kind of reacted in terms of facts. You know what facts are. Then you have to assess, monitor it actively. You can put up your resources and say what has happened. What are the false narratives happen in this social media? There are a lot of false narratives which happen. There are people who really want to tarnish image of people. You'll have to be again cognizant of such things as well. So you'll have to put in your own resources and see, is there any false narratives which are kind of spreading against people? Is this kind of intentional, right? And then you'll have to correct them factually. If that is the case, then you have a stronger case to build. You'll have to correct it factually, saying that, yeah, this is not what I intend to. Maybe the impact would have been different, but the intent was not that. So that is something which you'll have to correct it factually. And there are a lot of unnecessary amplifications, right? So the moment I tell something, I wouldn't have intended to do that, but there are people who are waiting to kind of pull words from your mouth and kind of amplify it in 10x level and 12x 20x level. So you will have to correct minor low traction misinformation can sometimes give undue attention to it. So that is something we'll have to assess the potential of the impact, how much amplification it has happened, and you'll have to act accordingly. And then you should definitely use official channels for kind of correcting it. So it need not be some personal channels. Officially, you'll have to kind of give a company statement. As I told you, the PR jumps in and all that. And if you feel everything what you've done is right and there is a nullified thing which is happening, then definitely legal action, or you'll have to report violations as well. You cannot sit simply and kind of accept everything which comes your way, right? So that is something which you'll have to do. You'll have to report it again. Once you get a negative feedback, stay calm, acknowledge, if possible, apologize if it is appropriate and if it is warranted. Acknowledge if at all you're getting something, evaluate and respond constructively. And if you kind of have anything which you feel that it is not the right forum for you to kind of address to a particular comment or a particular person, if it is live also, you'll have to have that maturity to take it offline. Right. So if
Okay.
it is beyond your boundaries, which I told you first, right, how to kind of maintain authenticity, this is how you maintain authenticity. You define your boundaries. The moment you know it's kind of little outside your boundary, you should have that magnanimity or maturity to say that, please let us take it offline and focus on what you're actually constructively building. I think these are some softer aspects. And handling negative criticism is not kind of a set scientific rule. There are softer aspects inbuilt to it, and you'll have to handle it softly to protect your image again, right? Because you are in social media, you're in front of the world, your image is really important, and your image is important for the organization. So people judge you, right? So in that sense, I feel these are some softer aspects you'll have to take care to kind of mitigate negative feedbacks and do it constructively.
Brilliant. I love this answer because it ran through so much. It ran through the process how we can
Right.
mitigate all this. So my fourth question is, algorithms are always changing on social media.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah.
leaders stay consistently visible in this constantly changing, because we have to stay relevant. So how can we do that?
Again, Rashmi, I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive, but I feel reinforcement definitely helps in making people understand also. For me, again, when you say algorithms, everything changes. How I'll remain constantly say the same is, again, when I believe my value. I deliver what I think and what I feel the right thing is for me as a value. If I do that, definitely I can stay consistently visible. That's something people will also say that, okay, whatever happens, I'm sure this guy is not going to talk like that because he's not a person like that, right? Because the audience will have people whom you're working day in and day out also. Audience is not always people outside your organization. Audience includes people within your organization, your own direct reports, your own teammates, your own managers are going to be your audience, right? They
Absolutely.
know they are their first recipients of whatever you talk on a media, right? So they pretty much know that, yeah, this person definitely doesn't mean that, he's not that kind of person, there's something wrong. So once you achieve that, then you feel that you are kind of attached to your values. You have to speak your values, number one. And number two, whatever it is this day and age, you should be little platform savvy, right? Is what I always feel. Whatever platform, may it be a LinkedIn, may it be a Facebook or an Instagram, or in fact, today people are in Snapchats, right? Twitter, right? A lot of platforms have emerged, and little bit knowledge, understanding at least the general purpose of that particular platform when it's getting upgraded, or what kind of upgrades are happening, is something which I think you should, or anyone who is doing using social media should be aware of. They should at least subscribe to real-time updates, what is happening in that platform. This is really important because I've also burnt fingers on that. I did something which definitely backfired me. Because I'm not that tech savvy, I should admit it. So that experience comes here. So platform savviness definitely helps. And third, a genuine engagement with people, right? The customers, as you rightly told, if you start genuinely engaging, like I just link everything which I tell, taking it offline, and then definitely getting back to them with the feedback, right? Not kind of ignoring people who have given you a comment. a good comment. You appreciate them. You genuinely engage with people. That is one way where you can stay consistent while a lot of things are changing, algorithms are changing. And you should also have a fair mix. Every day, if I speak on the same thing, I think people are going to get bored and algorithm will start manipulating you. Right. The moment I start speaking the same thing, like how YouTube feed comes, right? The moment I start searching, everything related to that starts coming. That's how algorithm works. So whenever a person talks about so leveraging social media, my talk starts coming. If I do the same thing, right? So that's how it's going to be. But so you should also be genuinely work on your mix. The content in which you kind of deliver is something which you'll have to work. And last but not the least, you should stay informed. That is again one thing. Whatever topic you are interested in, like I said in first, you should have 3 to 4 core topics which you are expertise you want to share with people, core areas which you really want to focus. Related to that, you should have information flowing to you. Either your team should be giving it to you, or you should have that natural inclination to keep learning about it. So you
Absolutely.
should have that, you should keep adapt to whatever surroundings, the ecosystem you're playing in. You should have information flowing. I think these might be few steps where you stay relevant, irrespective of algorithm change.
Yeah, true. I totally agree that you should be knowing different platforms and how the technological changes that keep on happening. And also that you said that we cannot really keep on talking about the same thing. So we need to know what are our core areas. And content, obviously, content is really important, and how we present the content is also equally important. Yeah. The last question is, what ethical boundaries should leaders really follow or keep in mind while influencing on social media?
Yeah, influencing is a very critical word where people get influenced with a lot of things these days. When you say influencing, you're building trust and credibility, and you'll have to preserve it. Especially when you're endorsing something, you're kind of influencing something, you should have to preserve that trust and credibility which you are building. And the first thumb rule which I follow is transparency, right? Transparency is something which is non-negotiable. You can't negotiate on that, right? We should be clear, right? And for example, if you're kind of promoting something, promoting a particular brand, you should clearly say if it's a paid promotion or if it's unpaid, right? For example, and to that level, I'm kind of saying because once you become larger than life in social media, people are bound to follow right? People, you are going to leverage for your leadership skills, right? People are going to listen to you, people are going to follow you, and there might be certain people who are going to blindly follow you as well. So unless and until you're clear that you're transparent that this is what I endorse, you should be clear in that. So transparency is something you should do, and authentic, whatever I told on, and whatever services you endorse, whatever topic you talk to, the authenticity should be there, and you should be relevant, right? So if I am an HR, if I'm going to talk about tech gadgets, somewhere I'm going to lose it, right? So that is something which is beyond ethic. It's little ethical. It's a thin boundary because I'm not a subject matter expert. I should talk where I am relevant in. So that's where the entire people will start trusting you. Truthfulness again, whatever I told you, transparency and truthfulness is something which is definitely there. And to sum it all, there should not be a conflict of interest as well, right? You should, when you are representing an organization, you cannot talk about other organizations. So you cannot kind of negatively impose something on some other brand and you cannot uplift yourself, right? That is something which is not to be done. That's beyond our ethics. Professional ethics is professional ethics. If you're stuck to a core value in an organization, stick to core value in that organization only. You need not negatively criticize someone, show them down and show you up. So that is something which is not acceptable in such kind of environment. You should conduct yourself professionally, right? And last but not the least, if there is an element of confidentiality within your organization also, you should kind of maintain that. That is again ethical to your organization, right? So I think these are things which you will have to keep reflecting every time you converse publicly. Reflection is really important. Sit back, assess calmly is something which is a mantra here. You'll have to sit back and think about, right? So that is something which is really important that we should do when we kind of think of ethics, especially, right? I'm reminded of that saying which is Manasekam, Vachasekam, Karmanyekam, Mahatmanam is what they say. Manasekam is what you think, right? Vachasekam is what you speak, and Karmanyekam is what you do. Everything should be one. So I think that is kind of apt for a person whoever is leveraging a social media for whatever purpose it is. It should align. The moment there is a misalignment, you fail miserably.
Beautiful. The last shloka or whatever you call it, it was in
Yeah,
Sanskrit and you explained it well. I totally agree. What you think, what you speak, and what you do should be aligned. And
absolutely.
that builds trust and credibility, and trust and credibility on social media. Even when we were not in the social media world, building
True.
trust and credibility was branding, was building trust and credibility. Though we are not on social media, we need to have that alignment.
Right.
It was a very insightful and a detailed discussion. So I thoroughly have a lot of takeaways from this discussion, and thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rashmi. Amazing talking to you, and it's a very big ocean topic, and I wanted to talk a lot, but yeah, time is there. But it's an interesting topic, and we should be really conscious when we are in social media because there are a lot of things which has happened in an organization, and just a comment will shamble the organization. So we have to tread it very carefully. That's something which I've learned by experience here as well.
Yeah, so true, so true. And we need to maintain that calmness and be away from social media for some time to really ponder
Absolutely.
upon. So, being out of the situation helps so much to be mindful and to be calm is so important in today's cluttered world.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Can't agree more. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you here. Over to
Thank you so
you.
much, Rashmi.
Thank you.
Wonderful hosting, and thank you for the questions. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so
Thank you so much, Ms. Rashmi, for taking it up so well. And thank
Thank
you,
you.
Aditya ji, for sharing, you know, all this important aspect in such a simple manner. And yes, my
Yeah,
takeaway is the self-discipline. Self-discipline is very important when we are on social
absolutely.
media, right? So
Absolutely.
that is what my learning and takeaway. Let's see what people have learned. So for that, I would like to invite my quiz leader, Mr. Kevin. So, Mr. Kevin, can you come up and ask a quick quiz question? And winner for today's quiz will get a book called Finally Reborn by our author, Mr. Mahendra Kapadia, right? So, Mr. Kevin, you can ask the quick question and let's see what people have understood.
Thank you, Pankaj, and it's a wonderful session by our thought leader today, and it's a session. And here is my question. It's on the chat. I would also love to read the question. As a leader, which one of the following best reflects the strategic power of social media platforms? So I have also given the options over there, so people can choose, right? Superb. So we got the correct answers. Let's wait for some more options. Okay, cool.
So it is the fastest
The
finger first. So you need to check who is the first person
Yes.
responding with the right answer.
So
Okay.
we have got the option answer from Aishwarya. The option is C, driving communication, influence, and talent development.
Okay. So in that case, I believe Dr. Ishwarya is the winner, right?
Yes.
Congratulations, Dr. Ishwarya. And
Congratulations.
you get the
Thank you,
book.
thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Kaveen.
And you get this book called Final Reborn by our author, Mr. Mahendra Kapadia. And you also get a bonus by unmuting yourself and ask a quick question to our guest. That's the bonus for you.
Yeah, thank
Thank,
you. Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Sir,
Thank you, Kevin.
actually,
Thank you, Kevin, for taking it up the quiz so well. Thank you so much. Yes, Ishwarya, you can unmute yourself and ask a quick question.
yeah, hi, all. Good evening. Myself, Dr. Aishwarya. I'm a soft skill corporate trainer and I'm a 360-degree leadership assessment specialist. Sir, nice session. It was, that was excellent, and your smile means a lot. Sir, my thought process is when we are posting something into a LinkedIn, we will take LinkedIn. I have lots of hesitation whether I can post this, whether this is a perfect one, whether I can post this or thing, what people will think about all those things. So how can I overcome all these things, sir?
So again, I would repeat again whatever I told. For if you believe what you're posting is something which is reflection of yourself, I don't think you should bother about others for sure. Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
you know what you're posting is right and you believe in that, right? So only when you're faking something, when you're building story in something using ChatGPT or something, you should be afraid of people what they're going to comment. As long as
Yes.
you're not kind of doing that, and if you're going to believe you're going to write, then I don't think you should be worried about the world. And definitely you should post on. So I would urge everyone to post. My posts are limited. Don't follow me as an example, but yes, I do urge people to post because there are a lot of reflections which happen when you post, when you do some things, certain things. So that is something which you should do. If you believe what you're doing, I think you should not be worried about people. That's a simple answer.
I think I'm in the right way. So I started posting some of the leadership quotes in LinkedIn yesterday. But I thought, see, what people may think, I don't bother about that because I was procrastinating all those things because of this perfection. So I started posting all the things what I was thinking in my mind. Thank you so much
You
for
will
this
find
wonderful thing.
people who are aligned to your values and you can build your own community among them and you can
Yeah.
start enjoying what you post, right? So that is
Yes,
how
sir.
people it starts building.
Yes, sir. Yes. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Pankaj, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ishwarya. Thank you. So before I open the forum for quick two questions, okay, I would like Mr. Arul to please put the details about Rocket Goals 15.0, which is about to come on 12th of April at Chennai. So Arul, can you please share about Rocket Goals?
Yes. Thank you, Pankaj. Now it's an announcement time. Okay, so we are almost close to our Rocket Goals event, which is happening on 12th of April, Saturday, which is happening in Savera Hotel, evening 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. followed by lunch. Followed by dinner. So looking forward to meet you all on our Rocket Goals event, which is happening on 12th of April. Thank you so much.
Great, Arul. So now we open the forum to our visitors. Two lucky people can unmute and ask quick question to our guest, and then we move forward because already we are at 7:18 p.m., right? So two quick questions and then we move forward. Nirupama madam, you can unmute yourself and ask quick question, and Sagiri, you can also. Yes,
Yeah, hello.
Nirupama ji.
Wonderful session. As expected, every week on week, getting good leaders, and I keep appreciating Arun for finding new leaders and getting. Uh, Today's session was very insightful because though it started with social media, it was not very specifically told, but yeah, it was clarified, like, from leaders' point of view and from the employee point of view. So I'm assuming it's all about LinkedIn. So I had put up a question in the chat box that what will be the potential risk if a leader overshares information on LinkedIn?
What information?
Their own information. When you share oversharing, a lot of things keep coming up. So one thing what I understood from the very first answer of the first question is maintain consistency of what value you would like to bring in. If you're talking about
Absolutely.
some value this post, and then when you talk about the next post, ensure the consistency maintains. That I understand. But if you're particularly
If you
about say,
overshare, if if you kind of
overshare,
repeatedly do
definitely
the
information.
same thing is what you're asking.
Yes. Not repeatedly doing the
Exactly. So,
same thing. Say if I'm
mhm,
from project management and I
right.
keep sharing most of the project management things, or is there any potential risk of any particular subject matter? Or if I'm a personal branding coach, I'm doing more and more publicity about myself because I want to publicize my image as a personal branding coach. Or say if I'm a storytelling or a storytelling coach, and I keep talking about story. So it's though it is core to
Correct.
my message, but somewhere it will be a oversharing at some point of time. So
Absolutely. It will happen. For sure, it is bound to happen. It will happen, number one. The more and more you share, Nirupama, so uh, again, the content mix come into picture. What content you share. If you're going to repeat the same thing, it becomes a class, and if you'll have definitely people will start unfollowing you, right? So that is something which is going to happen for sure, right? If you're going to repeat the same thing. So you should have a proper mix, number one. You should stay relevant and updated. So it's not that project management. So if I talk about a waterfall or agile, I'm going to talk about the same thing entire life, right? Things are also changing in that. So if you're kind of updated with that and you're going to provide content in different advancements or different aspects of project management, I think you're going to get appreciated. Though your story is going to be on project management, you're going to do a good content mix. You're going to bring more and more advancements or updates of project management in every post or every update you give to the public, number two. And number three, you always stay relevant, right? You should introspect. As I told you, you should step back and see what kind of comments you're getting. If you're going to work on the comments, what kind of negative comments you're getting? Are you going to constructively work on it? Are you going to ignore it? Right? So these are few steps which you, basic steps which is coming top of my mind. If you start doing, I think even repeated content becomes interesting. Otherwise, your algorithm is going to manipulate you. So as per that question, so for sure that is going to happen.
Great. And when we will talk about connecting by posting, we can also connect by answering into some other posts which are viral or something. But
Absolutely.
I generally enjoy commenting on some different posts because that's where our perception adds. Because there'll be 100 comments
So
and I would comment based on my perception, which is very different, though the message is same.
absolutely. That's why I told on previous question also. Aishwarya raised this question, and the moment you start reading the comments, you will see people who are aligned to your own interests, right? People like you who comment on that only. Then I'll find, okay, Nirupama is interested in my kind of thing, so I'll start connecting with Nirupama like people, right? So I'll start building my own tribe. I'll start building my own community, and I know what kind of content works, what kind of content doesn't work, and these end up becoming my critic as well, right? If I
Hmm.
post something not aligned, they'll be the first person to kind of message saying that this is not you, better change it, right? So that is kind of, that's how it builds.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya. Your session, the
Thank you
insight
so
was very
much.
wonderful. The topic was so catchy. Like until your fourth
Yes.
question, I was riding my bike and I was with earphone and helmet on. But all your question and answers, the way Rashmi handled, the way you were answering, and the spontaneity of the question and answers, I really enjoyed. It's only when it came to the fifth question, I had reached my home and watching you on the screen.
Thank you
So
Thank
so
you
that's
much.
for
good. And
Means
joining
a
in,
lot.
Nirupam.
Thanks.
and also, I like the point that you spoke about. I think it was second question. You spoke about reactive strategies and the traffic light approach. It's definitely a key takeaway for me from today's session.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thanks, Arul, once again for getting a lovely audience speaker for the audience here.
Thanks, Nirupamaji. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you, Aditya. One last question. So, Giri sir, you can unmute yourself and ask your quick question to our guest.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. And today, awesome presentation by Aditya sir. How to be presentable in social media, whether in the reaction mode or respond mode. Thank you. And what is my question is, right now the social media is for some age group. For an example, Facebook is for boomer uncle, and then Insta for young ones like that. People are commenting like that. Is it a fact or these are all fake?
Definitely not a fact. 100% not a fact. Everybody are in every media now. It's I again back to the session which we had, right? You should be a little bit of tech savviness should be there the moment you are there. The moment you don't have that little bit knowledge on that technology, right? Then people brand you, right? So this person is of that age, so he doesn't understand or she doesn't understand. So that's how the branding starts. Otherwise, all social media platform, everybody are there equally representing in the uh, all platforms, actually. I don't see any differentiation there. It's all inclusive.
Yes, sir. I am using the Facebook as my draft actually. Most of the time, people know each and everything. I will draft by the concept of health money relationship. I will get more content from so many groups. So I am drafting in my Facebook, even though there are so many people, but I am drafting my
You should
content. That's all
choose,
I am doing.
yeah. So you should choose the platform in which your content sells more, right? So there are more audience for your content. Every platform has a targeted audience. So you should know where your audience are sitting, and then you'll have to kind of have a targeted approach. That would kind of help.
Yeah, I want to be active in LinkedIn. I hope I will get some help from our community and I will be active in LinkedIn. I hope this is the right community to
Yes,
perform.
depends.
Thank you. Thank you again. And
Thanks.
thank you,
Thanks.
Arul, for laughing. When I am saying boomer uncle, you are laughing. Huh?
Thanks, Giriji. Thank you so much. So before we move to the concluding part, we have our author also today, Mr. Mahendra Kapadia, and he want to add a point. So Mahenji, please unmute yourself and please add a point which you want to add.
Yeah, I was just hearing Mr. Aditya and the audience also. I think very interesting topic, very relevant, and it actually touches on my subject. How do you get reborn? How do you recast yourself? And in today's time, I think the entire 18 hours of woken up time, you don't leave your you leave your better half maybe away, but you will have your mobile with you. So the social media is closer to the heart than maybe your wife or spouse or whatever. So only one point I just wanted to share is that when you are working on a job, on your own work at office or even at home, whatever the work that you are doing, constantly your mind is getting distracted. What is the next? What is the new? Now that's what the mind psychology says, that mind is only one. And if it is doing this, then it cannot do the second one. Right. So when you are on a job, on a project, your mind needs to focus, an absolute focus, 100% focus. So you must keep away your mobile, your messages, etc. Maybe at least half an hour. Keep away. I mean, whatever is the time, 15 minutes, whatever. You must stop, blank out your mind. I'm not going to watch the messages or anything, etc. Okay, because then you will get the best out of your mind. Because who is working? Mind is working. So a lot that time, maybe what I do, I don't keep seeing the mobile. Many people just see the moment I send, he has seen it and he responds also. It's not necessary. If it is an urgent thing, real urgent, then that man is going to call you back. Remember that. So there is no message on a WhatsApp or anywhere else on the media which is so urgent that you need to respond. So you don't need to see them even. So I have a policy in my own day-to-day organizing myself, but every hour is good enough in practical sense. Every hour, just look up till the time your mind you can plan for the day, for the week, for your work, for the family, anything you want to call somebody. So call attention, 100% attention on whatever you are doing. So that's all I'm saying. Just a small example, the paper which is lying on the ground, which is lying there for hundreds of years, it was not burned by the sun rays. That's what is happening to me, right? Only when you bring that magnifying glass, in a second, it will start burning. That is the power of focus, right? And that
Well said.
also, Pandava, the Arjuna's, that arrow and bow, which we have heard in Mahabharata scene. Arjuna can see only the eye within the pupil. So he is the best archer and he is most famous in the whole Mahabharata. Arjuna accuracy, the power of mind is so huge. But if you can see the branch of the tree, the leaves of the tree, the sky, that means you are not hitting the bull's eye. That means the work quality that you are getting is not your best. Your best is much higher, which you can get, provided keep aside the rest of it. Thank you. Sorry to take a little longer, but I think it was nice, very relevant topic, Mr. Aditya. And thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
Pankaj,
much.
Arun, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
Mahendra. Thank
much.
you for adding the point.
And you will get the books. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So here I would like to invite my summary guest, Dr. Ishwarya. Dr. Ishwarya, please come for the quick summary, and then we move forward because already we are reaching 7:30. Yes.
I'll make it fast. I'll make it fast, right? Yes.
Sure.
Here is the summary of today's session. Social media is the important platform to portray ourselves. There should be alignment with your personal values and professional things on social media. We should always go with our alignment. Leaders should give us real experiences. When we talk about something, we should be consistent and we should be true in that as well. And we should set a boundary with the leaders, which a leader should build. Risk we carry in the social media leverage as repute risk. We have various kinds of tools we can have navigate on it. This can be prevented with the proper alignment with personal values and projection of things. We should be very conscious and with mindfulness, we should talk in social media. We have to take a pass and you should acknowledge the things. If you want to ask sorry, we should, because everybody is super sensitive. We should be very conscious in our words. We have to make calmness, and we should not be reactive. Focus on the fact. We should always driven with the data constructively. We have to assess the situation, and we have to see what false narrations has been happened. Whether it has been intentionally done, it might be happen. People may trigger you to pull out the words, but we should be very calm. We should not react for it. Either you can politely respond in an assertive manner and acknowledge and reevaluate that. If you genuinely engaging with the people, people start blindly following you. So we should genuinely work with our content. We should have information about your topics very clearly. Influencing your trust and credibility is much more important in order to keep in track. We should be very transparent, as we said earlier. If people trust you, they will blindly follow you. So you should be very to your subject, and data should be truthful. We should not uplift ourselves by comparing negatively or criticizing others. At the outset, I can summarize the things: what we think, what we talk should be done. As a leaders, we should walk on our talk. That's the end of today's summary, sir. I think I have summarized all your points, sir.
Perfectly.
Thank you.
Perfectly. Thank you so much for a wonderful summary.
Thank you.
Excellent,
Thank
Dr.
you
Aishwarya,
for
for
this
taking it up
wonderful
so well.
opportunity.
Thank you so much. And here I would like to invite Miss Uma for the vote of thanks, please. Miss Uma, over to you for the vote of thanks.
Uma is having some technical challenge, so I am here to
So we have
thank.
Mr. Arul. So Arul, over to you for the vote of thanks, and then you can play the
thank you, Pankaj. Thank you so
video
much.
as well.
Yes, I just wanted to thank our guest Aditya. Thank you so much, Aditya ji, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And as everyone said, your smile is actually inspiring us and motivating us and relaxing us too.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today. And so once again, before closing the episode, I just wanted to share about the community's purpose. So Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization. So our goals are related to sustainable development goals of United Nations. So every week, Wednesday, we invite a leader like Mr. Aditya to share about solutions for the challenging situations currently which is happening in the society. And every last week of the month, we invite an author like Mr. Mahendra Kapadia to share about their own experience in writing their own book. So this is what we do. So joining our community is very simple. I have shared the link to join the community in the chat box. So just click the link and you can join the community. So thank you so much, Aditya ji. Thank you so much, Rashmi ma'am.
Thank you
That's
so
an
much.
awesome panel discussion you had with Mr. Aditya. Thank you, Pankaj. Thanks the community member for supporting Leaders Connect 360. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Arul. So can we have a thanking video? And before thanking video, really, as everybody appreciated Mr. Aditya's smile, yes, we can really say that he is the man what he he talks his walk basically, right? So thank you so much. He walks
Thank you
his
so
talk,
much,
sorry.
Pankaj.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So Arul, can we have thanking video, please?
Yes.
Arul?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Arul. Once again, thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. And over to you, Arul, for the